Hey people, good morning. Yeah, it's layers time. It's layers time. Excuse me, I just got up 9:29, a little bit later because it's so cold. I'm tempted to stay in the bed all day. Cheers. Yep. Let's see what the temp is. Now, my computer says 8 below. Let's see what my phone says. Let's see what the weather says on the phone. It says 4 below here. At either rate, it's still cold. Well, update. And then we'll move on to what's happening today. No, I didn't get my driveway. Guy never showed up. I messaged him late in the day yesterday, say, "Well, I can wait till tomorrow, but I really could use your help." As you know, when they come through, and the city didn't do my street, it was done by someone who lives in the neighborhood, but it creates a ridge, okay, and this ridge is thick and high, and I have a driveway, and I can carefully, slowly dig all this out myself. But if I could get someone to come and do it for me, I'd pay them and not risk the heart attack and all the. It's cold. It's brutal. So I hope that he shows up today. If he doesn't show up by around noon or so, I'm just going to go out there and get started. I'm not stranded. I have enough supplies, but the idea that I don't even know if the car will start now. It ought to, but it's cold. But the idea of feeling stranded is not good. It's not good. At this point, if I needed to go somewhere, I would be at the mercy of someone else. I can't just get up and go. That doesn't feel good. So, no mail today because it's a federal holiday. It's Martin Luther King Day, and I do want to speak on that. In many ways, it's a hollow holiday for me because there's so much that I can say. Let me just try to get this out. I was raised in a Baptist family. My grandfather, my mom's dad, was a highly respected Baptist minister here in Omaha. I love my grandpa, and even before I figured out he was a minister as a little bitty thing, because I can remember back before I was in kindergarten, I have some strong memories. Loved the man. I was entranced with my grandpa. So, as I was growing up, he was one of my prime role models besides my parents. And then one of the other main ones was Martin Luther King Jr. Um, Even as a small child, I could see what this man was trying to do with regard to racism and justice and what he was up against. So, up until his murder, he actually passed his murder. It was the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. murder that changed my mind. I was wanting to be a Martin Luther King Jr., literally. I was going to become a minister and a person who fought for peace and for the for humane changes in the way society runs. But it just became apparent to me that JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Robert F. Kennedy, members of the Black Panthers, other people. I can't even think of names. I think of Berrigan, and he wasn't murdered, but people who have been eliminated. Good people with good intentions are taken out because the money game, the power game, will not be disrupted. Martin Luther King's assassination by rich white people led us to this devastating, horrible situation we're in now, where we have this completely unqualified piece of trash, but he's blonde and white, named Donald Trump. Um, it's a direct connection to the past. It's a direct connection to the murder and elimination of good people. That's their legacy. So to me, the idea of making it a holiday to somehow commemorate or make up for, I just say is just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Cheers, people. I do appreciate hearing from you folks, and no, I'm not going to all of a sudden embarrass. I'm not going to all of a sudden talk about cooking and shit, all right? I will if I feel like it, okay? I'm not, as much as I love people, people irritate the fuck out of me, okay? Can I be really honest, all right? Okay? That's why I don't do requests, and to be frank with some of you folks who might be getting mad at me for sharing my real nature, in person it would probably be different, okay? But this where it's like I don't have complete um reference of you. I don't really know who you are. It's easy for people's stuff to just irritate me. So just bear that in mind. That's what that's about, okay? And that's why I don't do requests, okay? Because I'd be up here doing requests for fucking ever. That ain't no fun, okay? People ask me, what's your favorite album? And I just, I hate that question, okay? I hate that question. So my response is, someone's asking about David Sylvian. You think David Sylvian's good? Well, you just need to buy every goddamn. Yeah, see, I'm just being real. I think it's because I'm cold and just woke up. You need to buy everything you can find by David Sylvian, okay? You're not going to go wrong. You're going to find a whole world, from where he started as a late teen in the band Japan to growing up as an adult and searching for himself. It's quite a journey. It's quite a journey. When I first heard the band Japan, I thought they sucked. And they did, and they just kept getting better. I had a promo single that, I sold. Sometimes I Feel So Low, a promo of it, which now I would really value, but I got it when they came out. Thought it sucked. So explore, go deep. Don't ask me what my favorite record is. If it comes up while I'm talking, then I'll say it. Like the Terge Ripto, After the Rain. I'm looking at it, talking about listening to it. Yes, this is one of my favorites, but people who are able to make lists and always be saying, well, this is the top one, I can't do that anymore. Okay? It was nice to hear from this man who, Soul Brother number one, talking about being a man of faith and talking about his church, and they're doing good stuff. And I'm glad. I know that good people that are associated with religion do good things. I just know from personal experience that the goodness is not in the religion. And I don't need it to be a good person. And I don't need to talk about faith and belief to be a good person. So I'm not interested in what people believe. I don't give a shit what you believe, as long as you don't hurt people with your stupid beliefs. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. Nothing to do with organized religion, though. Not a god dog thing. Played a couple of records yesterday. Today I'm gonna wait for a while to see if Mr. Bowie shows up with a snowblower. If he doesn't, I'm gonna go out there and carefully start to dig my way out. I have had a friend literally die from a heart attack from shoveling snow. It's actually happened in my personal life, so I don't want to be that next person, okay? And it's fucking cold. It is. So, when it comes to music, yesterday was an eclectic day. because it's cold and there's nothing else to do. I mean, there's a lot to do, but I just decided not to do anything in the studio yesterday. So I played a few records and I read. Scott Johnson, John somebody, guitarist Scott Johnson. This is a minimalist, modern, almost classical music piece, except it's in a rock setting. Similar to the work of Steve Reich, the work John Somebody is based on tape loops of voices that the guitarist apparently had been collecting over the years and decided to use as a rhythmic bass for a piece, the cadence of certain phrases that he found interesting in musical. Well, speaking is musical. There have been several folks who have. Mono Neon is one of the more recent people where I've seen where he's made a really cool piece of music completely based on something someone was saying. The total cadence, the notes, everything. So that's what this is. Now, when I first got this, I was impatient with it. And my first impression was it was okay. Yesterday, I listened to the whole thing. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is real good. Real good. But notice what I said. I can be impatient as a listener sometimes, and then it'll be the next time that I catch it. That's brilliant. Complete different direction musically, but this, I love this stuff. And yesterday, I put it on, and it's like, yeah, and it just got played, and it's like I really got into it. Sleep, the Sciences, Spaceman smoking dope on the cover there. I can relate to that. Sure in the hell can. I'm glad that my days of drug abuse are over. When I was younger, smoking like an idiot, it's part of my lifestyle. I don't have to smoke. But I love it. I do. It was another example to me of the illegal campaign against marijuana that it was all about power. It wasn't about health, concern about people's well-being. It was all about the plastics industry. That's documented. DuPont. It says, get rid of that marijuana. Here comes plastic. We're going to make $1 million, and that's what happened. Sleep, the Scientist. This is heavy. It's great. It just grinds and grinds, and but it's power. You feel the power. I do. Love it. This only in part got played. It's kind of a goofy record. Nick Turner's Sphinx. It sounds like, when he starts talking and intoning the ancient mysteries on this album, he sounds like he's off of his head on drugs, okay? So it really does kind of sound like a lot of babble, except I know what he's talking about. But what saves this album is the music. I don't care about his psychedelic babble bullshit. Yeah. But this is musically really good, and there's great people on here. Everyone from the members of Gong, Steve Hillage, Miquette Garaudy, Mike Howlett, and then there's Morris Purd is on here. This is good. Musically, it's really enjoyable, spacey, slightly Eastern in sound. Nick Turner's Sphinx. So I only played a bit of this, because like I said, it was a little bit goofy, I was thinking to myself, yeah, if I was like much younger and tripping on acid or something, this would probably be revelatory. Otherwise, it was just fun. This is a band I don't know much about, but I think they're considered a folk band, maybe. Tongue. This is a compilation. This is Tongue, Magpie Bites and Other Cuts. I heard them on the radio somehow. The guy's voice reminded me of someone. I still can't place it. He's got a distinct voice. there's a female voice, and they work together well. But what I noticed besides the acoustic instruments was the sound manipulation going on in there. You know, the percussion is not drums, and there's other things that are happening audio wise that I love stuff like that. It's like the palette of what is given for the ear to listen to is tasty. So this got played double album, most all the way through. I had forgotten that when I found this, it's, you know, clear vinyl. I'll show it when it's a different colored vinyl because it's fun. Black vinyl is fine with me. As I was listening to this and listening to the voices, what they're singing about never came through. I don't even have an impression of what they were singing about because the picture of the music is so good. And that's really what I'm most interested in, is the total picture. I played this. I talked to you about Thalem the other day, but I played this yesterday. This is deep. Nels Cline is quite the guitarist. You know, there's so much on here where you don't even know it's a guitar. And you have to stop and think, that's probably a guitar. It's really good. Nice to hear from a lady. I watched a woman recently who, let me see if I can see her name. But she was showing some records, and then she commented that she appreciated seeing someone else show appreciation for Japanese artists. I was talking about Takahashi. You know, I love Taka. Well, yeah, I love all people, but so I have this out, Pulse, a project that he did with Steve Jansen from Japan, and on this they're working with a young singer whose voice, personally, I think that they miscalculated. I think they chose this girl, sounds like a girl, not even an adult, thinking that they're plugging in to new energy, but the voice is not interesting. It's not. It's like it's almost interesting. All right? That's my opinion. Then I have the Pulse remix, where this is back in when drum and bass was very influential. So the drum and bass is in the remixes here. DJ Spooky is on here. Fantastic Plastic Machine and For Hero do remixes. I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. Someone mentioned that they had gone and looked up this Diaspora Foci and found it on Bandcamp, but no physical CD. They must have sent it to me, you know. That's how I got it. Someone sent it to me. So, recapping, I intend to chill this morning and wait to see if I get service on my driveway before I go out there and brave the weather myself. I can do it. I can do it. Last thing that popped in my head was yesterday. I see that the dark, what's his name? He's Dave. He's from Omaha, and he has a radio show here in Omaha every Sunday called New Day Rising. And I saw yesterday where he showed that he was going to be playing David Nance and Mode Sound on his show. So I shared that with David because David didn't know. I just love David. He's the real deal. So he's so humble, you know. We talked a bit afterwards. He had no idea he was getting airplay. And then one of his comments was he kept referring to the new album as we. We're kind of famous, and he was being funny when he was saying that. But he kept referring to the project as we. And I would come back to him and let him know, yeah, David, you're breaking through. I mean, I've been a part of this stuff long enough to realize how things go. He's the focal point. I am very happy to be involved with what's happening with David and his rise if that happens. It really ought to. He deserves it. But it's kind of him to refer to the band, and he's into the idea that it's a band. It's not just him, it's David Nance and Mode Sound. Really, it's awesome. So I caught a little bit of the show, but I didn't catch the song. I think he played David Nance after Matthew Sweet, who was another Nebraskan. I've never worked with Matthew. Um, it's just like with Conor Oberst. I've never played on stage with him, but I'd still love the opportunity just to have that on on my bucket list. Yeah, I got to play with these guys. I'm playing with David though, and David is badass. He is. He's a big. Sorry, I told you I just woke up. he's a big talent. He is. Okay. Be safe, folks. Share your thoughts with me. It doesn't matter that you agree or disagree with me. When you share your thoughts, be civil. Or go ahead and show your ass if that's all you know how to do.